Yo, what's up, geeks and nerds? Tyrell Peterson here.
This is Ethan Garrett.
This is Brandon Sherwood.
And this is Chance Garrett.
And welcome to Geeking Out Loud Side Quest, where we talk about everything from video games, anime, movies, and comics.
All the good stuff.
Everything going on in a geek and nerd community. And today, we're talking about Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. So guys, what do you, in a non-spoiler review first, what did you think about it?
I mean, I thought it was pretty badass, man. You know, I like the first one a lot, and I think the second one really added on to it a lot.
Yeah, you guys sat me down for the first one because I hadn't seen it before, and you know, it was really good, but I think Venom 2 has kind of
Upped it.
So yeah, same goes for me. I really do like the first one, but in my opinion, I do like the second one a little bit more, just because it's a little bit more brutal and has more action in it. Because honestly, that's just what I.
Yeah, that's true.
Not just that, like it has. I think everyone's gonna say they like Venom 2 more because it's more of an iconic villain. Carnage is like from the '90s, like
Right, they brought back Carnage, and that's one of people's favorite, like one of his everyone's favorite, like Venom offspring, pretty much. I think Carnage is one of the badass ones.
He also seems to do a lot more than what Riot did in the first one.
Riot just pretty much said get on the rocket now, and
He's just flinging him around and shit, but
basically, but Carnage, like it was like a kind of not even an even battle, like because Carnage kept growing in size. If y'all noticed that, like that's how big he was.
Honestly, it just looked like he was getting more jacked, like like.
But I like the action. Like that's one thing I like. The action and the bromance between Eddie and Venom.
They went a lot more in depth with Eddie and Venom's relationship into this movie. They really, really tried to lay that on. I feel like they were trying to go with the maybe Venom was kind of like feeling like maybe him and Eddie weren't symbiotic and it wasn't like working out or something. Maybe that's why something was going on.
Yep.
But I found it really interesting. I like that they made them have this kind of connection because they've been together.
It gives them more character depth for sure.
Exactly, and it makes them a lot more likable characters, and it just makes it a lot easier.
Like there's still the one-liner jokes in it and all that stuff.
The cheesiness.
Yeah.
And the one F-bomb.
Yeah, the one F-bomb.
I was surprised from the first movie and the second. They always slipped that one F-bomb in there.
Yeah,
I guess it's because of the rating.
Yeah, but
they allowed that one.
I think they timed it in the second movie pretty well.
Yeah, and Andy Serkis, he literally said, this ain't gonna be rated R, but it's gonna be pushed to the max for PG-13.
Right.
So, like, you could tell that it was pushed to the max.
Yeah, it was really good. I think the pacing was also very good in this one, where, Venom 1, you had the origin story and everything, but now you don't have that. You don't have to do that, like, catch you up for people who haven't seen Venom before, know what he is and all that. Now they can actually just go into it and you can see all these cool fight scenes. There's more emphasis on the story in this one. It's really good.
I do like how they reintroduced Riot because before he wasn't really that well known. But I do like how they brought him back in the first Venom movie so like more people actually know about him. Because he wasn't talked about that much even in the comic books at the time.
And it must have garnered interest too with Venom 1 because I'm sure people, like, especially me, I can fit into this group. The people who haven't like been deep into Marvel, read the comics and stuff like that, they must have gotten really good feedback and stuff, and they were able to get the like budget and stuff for Venom 2. So my point is, I feel like people who aren't big into comics would still like this.
Yeah, it's like it's pretty much if you like a buddy cop movie, like that's basically what Venom and Eddie is. They're just a buddy cop thing. Like Venom's the bad cop, the kind of silly cop. And Eddie's the one that holds them back.
Give them reverse roles so they can kind of play off each other.
Yeah.
But man, like, I don't know, like, I like the movie, and I know a lot of people didn't like the first movie only because Spider-Man wasn't in it, but I mean, it shows Venom being his own character, honestly, like, he was on his own, doing his own thing, and so yeah.
It gives him a lot more in-depth to develop himself instead of having to rely on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Even though it changed the origins up a little bit, like...
they kind of changed it up a little bit.
Yeah, not even a little bit, a lot, but at the same time, it kind of made me mad at first because I was like, when I first heard a Venom movie, without Spider-Man, I'm like, this is gonna suck.
Well,
And then
originally in the comics, Spider-Man got the symbiote suit from a different planet.
Secret Wars.
Yeah, and it was a living suit that conjoined with him, and he basically come back to the Earth and was like, hey, you know, I have a black suit now, and I'm much more powerful and stuff. And that's where Venom come from. So originally in the comics, Spider-Man went to like an entirely different planet to get it. But, you know, and then we have the Sam Raimi like movies where it's like a meteorite or something, and it come down, and he got it. And I don't know. They keep changing it, and I'm all for change when it makes sense. But sometimes, you know, it's good to keep it original.
I do like how they introduced like the female symbiote when the lady character in the Venom movie actually got the symbiote on her.
She-Venom.
Well, it's a real
Yeah,
character,
She-Venom.
too, yeah.
She making me feel some sort of way.
I thought that was really neat. Like I wasn't even expecting it when I saw that.
When I first seen Venom, the first one, like it made me feel uncomfortable seeing She-Venom kiss Eddie. I don't know why.
Right.
Yeah, that was a weird way for Venom to go back to Eddie.
Yeah, I was like,
I thought it was alright.
That kind of brings up a point I'd like to say. In the first movie, we saw that, you know, her and Eddie, you know, split up and whatever. And, you know, we're not going to go into what happened in the second one yet. You know, we're not going into spoilers, but I feel like we're already set up for the third one, or you know, maybe the new Spider-Man movie we'll get to see something in it or something. But I feel like the second one was really a setup for something to happen in between them. And for Venom to be going back and forth between her and Eddie, he's gaining, like, you know, memories and stuff.
Knowledge.
From her and him.
Connections.
And going back and forth. And this is creating, like, kind of a union between those two. I feel like, you know, in 3, it's going to be a setup for them to get back together. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, it has to. I thought it was going to happen in this movie. But,
Yeah.
I mean...
yeah, like when I was mad at first that I don't know. Like I was hoping to get back together in the first one, but then I was like, you know what? It grows character development, but yeah, like Annie, I would think she could be a boring character, but she really played a major role in Eddie's like.
She is a
backstory.
good character for somebody who doesn't really, you know, beat the shit out of anybody.
It's kind of like a supporting role for Eddie. I say. You know,
It's kind of like Spider-Man and like the bigger kid that hangs out with them, you know?
yeah.
And but yeah, like I really liked Venom 2. I liked the first movie, but I liked Venom 2 a hell of a lot more.
Right.
yeah.
And
It's definitely a step up.
yeah, it's a step
2
up.
had a lot more better action scenes.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
so
feel
much
like
more.
in 1, a lot of the action scenes were in the dark and kind of cut short. And you know, I get that, you know, you have like a budget and stuff and a limit you have to work with and things, but you know, you gotta please the fans, and that's what they really did with the second one.
So this is mostly just fan service, and I do like how they had it all lined up together.
The villain in this one is also a lot better than Riot. Not saying Carnage, but the guy...
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, Woody
Yeah.
Harrelson. Absolutely, I think he did a great job in what he did.
I didn't know
Yeah,
how I
plays
felt.
Cletus Cassidy.
I didn't know how I felt about him. Like at first, when I seen the afro in the first movie, I was like, I really hope they change his hairstyle. Good enough.
I liked the afro.
I really did.
I really wish they would have stuck with like the comic style.
Yes.
Because he had like the crazy like red hair and shit, and that really fit his personality. Because I mean, it's Carnage. You know, he's this like the crazy symbiote. And he has like red and black all over him and stuff, and it's like all spread out. And I'm like, that's kind of like that wild like fringe that he should have, and that's what he had in the comics. And I was like, it looked really good. And I get they went with the afro and then changed it. But I don't know. I feel like they could have been a little bit different.
I literally seen so many fan castings talking about if y'all ever watch Gotham and y'all know the guy that plays Joker.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted him to play Carnage so bad. Like they thought he'd be the best one. He was already ginger, and he was already crazy in a row. So
I think Woody Harrelson did a really good job.
oh yeah, he does good in crazy
I
roles.
agree. He worked really well with that whole line.
I don't know. I could see Joaquin Phoenix doing it.
Yeah.
Joker.
Yeah.
I could really see him doing it, and I really think he could pull it off too.
Yeah, that was a good movie too, though. I hope he reprises that role.
And considering, you know, Joker did so good, you know, and I was reading something earlier. They're talking about maybe him doing a second one. I think he would have done a pretty good job. But like I said, Woody Harrelson did a really good job.
Woody Harrelson, he did good. Like many people know him from Zombieland, and that was a really good movie. Both of them were, and
But I don't know. I feel like Joaquin would have done a little bit better because he has like that really dark, like edgy, like humor that he had in Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And because I love the scene where he's in there with like the little midget dude and stuff. But I feel like he could have been a little bit funnier. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but
Just,
the humor, I like how Woody Harrelson's humor was with like the dark humor and all that good stuff.
Right.
Like it really fit him. Like you really believe he was like a psycho killer.
Yeah.
So like it's.
I really like they went into the serial killer thing because I get that we don't have the R rating, but it's still cool they're doing something kind of darker than the first movie.
Yeah.
I really like how they actually got into Carnage's backstory, and same goes for Shriek. It actually shows like their relationship more in depth than what you'd think in just one movie.
Yeah,
I like how they all
in the
act
comics
together.
they weren't really in a relationship. It was more
Partnership.
Carnage broke in and got her out and was like, "Hey, we're gonna work together," and that was basically it. And it kind of ended up being a relationship, I guess.
Yeah, crazy weird Harley Quinn type relationship.
But
Only
in
she
the
don't get
movie, they
abused.
could really press that on and make you emotionally connected to it, so you would kind of feel bad for him. And I really do feel
Well, with
like
that, him talking about that, I think we should go into the spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Because, with Carnage breaking out, is it Screech or Shriek?
Shriek.
Okay, I thought it was Screech this entire time.
No.
See, like, again, I don't watch the comic, or don't read the comics or anything. But, yeah, starting with the spoilers, he bites his hand and Carnage just materializes, which I didn't know that's how symbiotes,
Not really, like, because when he bit it and he had a little sample of venom, like, and he, like, did a weird thing where he licked it. Yeah, like, it went in his bloodstream. Like, and it just started, and when he did that death serum and death row,
it amplified
it amplified it. It expanded it everywhere. Like, it was just in one spot, like, I guess, a little tiny spot, then all of a sudden it just grew.
I really love the transformation scene because, like, as soon as like he ingested it, and like when he was like about to get killed, and they had all that red symbiote stuff like stringing from him, that looked very neat.
They did a really good job on the animation.
Yeah, it looks so detailed. Like
I was scared about that. Like
Like-
I was.
right. Like if they tried to turn that into a documentary, I could be convinced that was real. Like it was so detailed and well done.
Let's go back a little bit before all that happens. When they go back in the past, like, what was it, 1999,
Yeah.
1998? At the place where Cassidy and Shriek were at,
Yeah.
Mulligan.
Yeah.
Mulligan was there. And I made that connection in the movie from when he was there to the present time where he became, like, the detective?
Detective.
Mulligan, yeah.
Yeah, Detective
Right.
Mulligan. And I was like, oh shit. And then you told me he actually gets his own.
Yeah, he actually gets his own, like, and it's one of my favorite symbiotes. It's like, okay, Eddie and Venom, when their connections, like, Venom is a stubborn ass, like, pretty much. He's like a child
Very
almost.
stuck up.
Yeah, he's very stuck up and like, I want to do my own
But
thing.
that kind of makes sense because Eddie's sort of the same way.
Yeah, and
very
they're
vindictive.
hard-headed. And while Carnage and Cletus just wants the chaos. Cletus just wants the same thing, only with the girl.
Right. Well, Carnage wanted to kill Venom.
Yeah.
And Cletus was just
Wanted to kill
an
people.
absolute psychopath, so it was kind of compatible for the moment.
And but yeah, like Toxin and Patrick, Toxin just wants pretty much his instincts is to eat people and literally bite people's heads off. And
And you told me Mulligan's like, hey, we
Yeah,
can't do that.
you can't.
Basically, like a more intense Eddie and Venom relationship.
Yes.
Because Toxin, you told me he's got a kid.
He has a kid personality. Like, he's like, hey, can we do this? Can we do this? And he literally asked for permission before because he's being taught like a child how to work.
He's a brand new symbiote.
Yes, he doesn't know how to be taught.
Basically, like, Mulligan is having to, like, teach him, like, morals and stuff and raise him. And, like, kind of, like, I don't know, I kind of try to grow with him, I guess.
Yeah, like he grows it like a pet, kind of like only this pet talks, and it's very, really aggressive. But
Because toward the end of the movie, his eyes, how
blue.
yeah,
Blue.
like everybody's eyes changed in Venom 1, where Riot was going between everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Mulligan gets his, and that must be the start of Toxin.
And honestly, I think that's a good Venom 3 villain. Honestly, if it happens, like because Toxin, Patrick already has beef with Eddie. Like he wants him to be taken down as a criminal. They're already wanted men, Eddie and Venom are.
Right, we saw that in the second one.
Yeah.
They're going through and they're trying to get Eddie for all this shit and stuff. And
Yeah.
Because he's like, how did you know where the bodies were and stuff?
Right.
I guess in his mind, he's like thinking, oh, Cassidy and Eddie are
working together.
in cahoots together.
So yeah, when
he's just capitalizing off of it, throwing his buddy in under the rails, basically, backing the bus back over him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Toxin. He's gonna be like pretty much Patrick gonna say Toxin. We need to take down Venom and Eddie, bad guy, and just because Toxin's way stronger. Each offspring is stronger than the last one, and Toxin he literally in the comics whoops Venom and Carnage's ass, and even if Spider-Man tries to fight him and he whoops Spider-Man's ass, like it literally no one stops him except for Patrick says calm down, just don't eat everyone, but yeah, like Toxin's one of my favorite, but I just want to know from y'all guys, what's your favorite scenes from it?
From this one?
Yes, Venom 2.
When Carnage gets up in the stained glass window in that church and does this like number.
You know, that's actually a reference to Leonardo's what is it, the perfect
this sketch of like the human design.
Yes, it's like perfect symmetry. It's the guy.
Oh yeah, he has all the like. It shows you where the positions of the arms
yeah, his
are.
arms and his legs and stuff. It's supposed to symbolize perfect symmetry, and that's what he was actually doing.
See, I didn't
It
realize
was
that.
a reference to that.
I didn't think that either, honestly. Like, I just think he was just wrecking havoc, and he's like just showing off. He's like, "Yeah, I'm about to screw you."
I wish
up.
it would have stayed on that frame for a little while longer, because he literally goes up in the window, does that, and then
Yeah.
goes.
But I liked how, like, when he first arrived, Carnage did, he started wreaking havoc first sight. Like, everyone was just in danger. Like
there's a scene like after he broke out into jail, like after he started like using his little tentacle tendril thing, starts slinging people to and fro, where he like starts spinning around and made a cyclone.
That got me
and started
going.
picking up people into it. And then like the warden of the prison got caught into it, and like what's his name, Woody Harrelson, like got separate from his symbiote just to say something to him, but then go back together and kill him, and then separate the
But in
cyclone.
that scene, that actually shows that they weren't actually symbiotic because they weren't one.
Yeah.
He split from him. He wasn't part of him. He was inside of Carnage.
Right.
So they weren't one. They weren't actually conjoined.
Well, you could say that about Eddie and Venom too, because
Right.
Eddie's
Well-
face pops up at the end of Venom.
Well, you got
Right, but it's
we
in a different
actually
way.
see when in the first movie that when Eddie wrecks his bike and Venom conjoins with him, he completely repairs everything in him. If you're not
Right.
completely compatible, you can't do stuff like
no,
that.
I know he alive
okay.
pretty
Yeah,
much,
it would
but
basically they would be able to use you for so long and you would like die.
yeah, so he would have eventually died anyway.
That's how
Like,
Riot got with all those other people in the beginning of okay.
But
And the only reason that Cletus Cassidy was able to do this with Carnage was for so long is because they thought they were compatible because they
Yeah.
were so violent. But once Shriek come into it and he realized that Carnage was more of a threat to her than everyone else, that's when it became an issue.
Alright, see, I thought that's a very interesting twist how Carnage actually hated Shriek. Not Cletus Cassidy, but just the symbiote itself. Like,
Yeah.
wanted Shriek to basically just shut up because he couldn't stand her screaming ability. He just hated that. He didn't want nothing to do with her, like, at all.
like, I was really wondering how Carnage could withstand some sound in the comics, but like better than Venom. But at the same time, I was wondering how they were going to do it in this movie. And yeah, he's very intense on sound. But I was just wondering what made Venom so scared of Carnage when he first seen him. Like, oh shit, that's a red one.
I'm not sure if I'm right. I believe it's actually because Carnage is a red one. It means that he was more in tune with Cassidy's blood. Because I can't remember. I read something about it, but apparently he was more in tune with his blood. So that means he was more connected to Cassidy more than Venom is to Eddie Brock. But I don't see how that works out. That's just some fan thing that I read.
I thought it was just like, tiers of enemies in video games.
Right.
Red one bad.
Yeah.
Because usually the only symbiotes we've really seen was, like, so far in this universe was Riot and Venom, and they're both just black and gray.
Well, from what I'm assuming is if it's anything like the comics, any offspring that a symbiote has, it's basically stronger. They get stronger from each offspring. But you also have to remember, it's basically a child. They don't have all this information. Well, Venom says they have a hive mind.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard to discuss because I don't know if, a symbiote that has just been born and created and
Yeah,
someone
you
else
gotta
has
be-
connection to that hive
Yeah, I don't
mind.
think you can. I don't think you are connected.
it's real. Like they basically just have instinct. Like even though like they're a newer symbiote, they are like born even stronger, but they wouldn't have as much experience.
Every creature has a natural born instinct when it's
Right.
born. Yeah.
But what I think, and what I hope in Venom 3 is they introduce a Thanos level villain, where his name it's Venom. What is it called? Symbiote God of symbiotes. No.
Oh hell!
Yeah,
oh gosh!
like,
that's absolutely a really good thing to bring up.
Yeah, it's like, because no, he's the God of symbiotes. He's a Thanos level villain in the comics. They literally have a whole arc about him, a storyline called King in Black.
Right, and Lord, doesn't he like basically come in just like completely take over the planet?
Pretty
like,
much.
a matter of minutes.
And basically, no one is safe. Like
I saw like a clip where I think it was Daredevil in prison or something, and Null has infected the entire prison, and it's like a scene where he's about to go up against like something that I guess Null had infected or whatever, and you were like, oh, it's Daredevil, maybe he'll put up a good fight. Next scene, it's Daredevil with a symbiote. And I'm like,
and the thing about it is, he's the one created.
Is Null another symbiote?
He's the
God. He's the king of symbiotes. He made him. He made him.
But he don't look like one. He just looks like some creepy old dude with some long hair.
It's weird. I don't.
He has a form. He has a human kind of humanoid form, but then he has like a dragon form. And when he's the one that created the hive minds, and. So yeah, like he can control all the symbiotes and a whole army of symbiotes if you wanted to. And in the comics,
Does that include Venom?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the entire hive mind he has like control over.
Yes, and literally when he first pops up, Venom thinks I'm gonna try to fight him. I'm gonna do something about it. Gets his ass whooped straight up. Like first thing, it's like Thanos and Hulk.
Well, Venom is one of the
weakest
kind of lower ones.
He's the runt of the freaking symbiotes, and he can't do what most symbiotes, like advanced symbiotes, can do, where they can shapeshift and morph their like hands and everything into like weapons.
Right, it's just not the same way like Riot and Carnage could, but Venom does square it to him so well, not only just because of plot, but because he's such a good match with Eddie that he just holds up so well compared to the other symbiotes, because they're not perfect matches.
No, it's really hard.
Wasn't Riot and the one dude perfect though?
Well, it's hard. We know they were, but we wouldn't know for sure. Venom and Eddie, if you remember, weren't really compatible at first. Like you said, it was killing them. Like, and I don't know. Like I said, the bromance with Eddie and Venom is really strong in this, because I don't know. Like it's pretty strong and romantic.
Well, to be fair, it is pretty odd just to call it romantic, just because it's like a symbiote with a person.
Well, I mean, technically he is a god because they're symbiotic. Him and Eddie are one person, so technically when he is conjoined with Eddie, he is a god.
Yeah, I do.
And when he's with Eddie's girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, until I guess the next movie, maybe.
Yeah. Hopefully Dan gets eaten or something.
Yeah, I really thought he was.
I really was hoping. I was hoping he would.
And I felt bad, and I was like, he's kind of been helpful this movie, I was like, this is her ex-boyfriend. He's like, oh yeah, you're fighting aliens. Hell yeah, I'll help you, dude.
Yeah,
I've been like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, like it's when I first seen Dan, like I thought he was just gonna be like maybe a C-list character, like
somebody who just whines the entire time.
Like he was at
just
first.
a real pansy like dude.
He was like Mrs.
Literally
Chan.
Jerry from Rick and Morty.
Oh god.
Yeah.
God. And yeah, like he literally, I was hoping he would die from Carnage, because when Carnage grabbed him after he was talking so much shit to Carnage, saying, "Yeah, I got this gasoline and I got this blowtorch," like yeah, and then Carnage grabs him. I thought, please eat him. Like I was really hoping. I was like, please eat him. Like, because I was like, then Eddie will have no choice but to get back with Dan in her grief moment, and everything will be happy. And
so I guess one of the last things we have to talk about is the end credit scene.
Oh, the best scene, man.
Yes, one of the best scenes in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
They transfer. They just go through worlds.
And I was wondering how they did it, but I got a lot of theories.
It looks
going.
like the multiverse.
Yeah, it was the multiverse for sure, and it looked a lot like their own room when they were like just chilling, and it made it seem like Venom was the one behind it. Like he was.
That's what I was about to ask. I was like, but the question, like, Venom was just telling Eddie that he was going to give him a glimpse into
So I thought that was
the hive mind.
But then this gets
and that's what
interrupted.
I thought what was going on. I was like, this ripple, I was like, he's about to show Eddie some crazy shit.
Yeah, like illusions.
And instead, we have the ripple effect from whatever Doctor Strange is doing in the
Doctor
trailer.
Strange
See, that's what I was
low-key-
thinking, that Doctor Strange was behind all of it. Behind all of it.
No,
and
there's
mixed
three
it all
different
up.
things: Doctor Strange, Wanda and Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Loki. Like Loki, if y'all watch.
Loki isn't. He's part of. He's with the Tom variant people.
No, not just that, but you remember.
And make sure we don't spoil anything from Loki because
Okay.
people still
Oh,
haven't
I
seen it.
understand. Understandable.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Loki's part of the multiverse. The TVA is, and Doctor Strange. He's Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness, and then there's WandaVision. All of it is connected in the MCU. So all of that, three things could have happened or all at once. But
Well, the ripple looked like it was orange, and if you've seen the trailer for Spider-Man,
That's
the
Strange's
rip.
spells.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
orange.
and
So-
I like how he looked at the screen when he first seen Spider-Man. Like it made me think
Tom Holland's face popped up.
Yeah.
And he's being called a murderer and everything.
And Venom like, ooh, bad guy.
And he licks the screen.
He's like, bad guy, tasty. He's like, it made me think so. I was so hyped because I was like, this is an interesting way for Venom to fight Spider-Man, thinking he's a murderer, but at the same time, like, I don't care. I wanted to see him fight.
I think it's a good way to go about it, honestly.
It makes sense. I mean, it ain't just you rejected me because Venom. Only reason he hates Spider-Man because he was rejected in the comics because Spider-Man didn't want him anymore. And like Venom, Venom just thinks he's a bad guy. Tries to eat him, and Spider-Man's just gonna be so freaked out. I guarantee you when he first sees Venom.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was about to say. Is I feel really bad for Spider-Man in the upcoming movies. Like he has so many people he has to fight now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
Well,
gonna be ass whoopings on top of ass whoopings.
And he's
Funny
just
you
going to
say
get his
that.
ass handed to him altogether.
Funny
Like,
you
really.
guys say that. I've heard the theory that, in one of the scenes in the Spider-Man trailer, there's something jumping around in this cave hallway, dark hallway sort of thing.
Yeah.
People were thinking it was Lizard.
Yes.
If that's what he's called, I don't know.
Yeah, the lizard.
Yeah. But now,
one of Peter Parker's college professors.
Yeah, he was.
and now I'm thinking maybe it's Venom in the background.
Yeah, because they're both got like a muscular, stocky look, at
Yeah.
least from the front and back
And
side.
you
and
heard
it's
a roar.
dark, so you can't tell.
And you heard a roar.
You have to remember a lizard. I don't know. It kind of looked like sewers, kind of like tunnels and stuff. I was like, that is where he stayed.
But I think,
Right.
well, when you first watch it, you're like I kept like pausing and unpausing when I seen this. I was like, either it's Venom or it's Lizard, and I kept pausing before I even watched Venom 2, and I was like,
well, Venom, he had no issues running around the city. He really didn't care, honestly. He would run up buildings like Spider-Man would.
Except
He
he'd
would
actually,
destroy
break them.
Like he would
Yeah.
run up them and like break windows and stuff.
Yeah, he just demolished the walls just trying to climb up
Which
it.
kind of doesn't make sense because him and Eddie were trying to kind of keep a low profile.
yeah, but
I think that because he's got so much brute strength that as soon as he touches the walls, it just immediately crushes it.
Well, that's
Broken
so much
windows have
power.
no tales to tell, Ethan.
Yeah.
and I liked one scene where even though Venom and Eddie had problems, and like very early in the movie where it's like you're stuck in a house with a man that you really don't like after a while, and like they got annoyed with each other. I like the chicken scene.
Yeah.
Eat the chickens. Chickens have no brains. They're best friends. And I was like, just the humor in this movie, the action, and the character development, all that good stuff.
I think it was all lined together almost perfectly, at least compared to the first one. It was really just a saving grace.
You
that
can tell
they
they
did.
put more effort into this.
Well, because
Right.
you cut out the background story. I mean, if you cut that out, you've already got it. Then the second movie's always going to be better because then you can just focus. You already know what symbiotes are. You already know what Venom and Eddie's relationship is, and it's good. You don't have to focus on anything else except
You
for
can
what
just
the
continue
main
on
plot
with it, yeah.
of that movie. But I guess what would we get it? Like, what would we give it out of 10?
Oh, I'd give it a 8.5, almost 9. About to be a 9.
I was about to say I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
like-
I'm with you on that one. What about
Because
you?
what about you?
We'll see. Compared to the first Venom, which I would give a 6, I would give Venom 2 a 9. Mm-hmm. Just because other than other action movies I've seen, I really do. Like, as of right now, Venom 2 is one of my favorites. Like,
Masterpiece. It's a masterpiece.
It holds
in
second
movies.
place for my favorite movies, to be perfectly honest.
Even though Spider-Man will eventually come, and I'm hoping that Black Suit Spider-Man is showing up just for a minute. And even when just for a brief period of time, then he goes back to Eddie. He has the spider symbol on him, and he has the webs. A big upgrade. That's all I'm hoping for, Black Suit Spider-Man.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Is that maybe they're going to do something to where he goes on to him for a minute, and he's going to get some kind of mutation from him because he has the spider powers and whatever.
Yeah.
But and then he'll go back to Eddie, and then he'll have maybe he'll have the spotter on the front or something. He'll have a different look or some kind of little upgrade.
Because you got to think he hasn't been on any superpowered beings.
Right.
He only been on regular humans.
Yeah, just Eddie right now.
And now the radiation in Spider-Man's blood. You got to think about that, the radiation from
and
Spider.
The original thing was that Venom had took so many traits from Spider-Man. That's why he could do all this stuff, and that's why he climb up buildings and shit. And, that's because he got it from him. And then he goes on to Eddie, and they both hate Spider-Man because Spider-Man casted out Venom, and then Eddie hates
Peter Parker
because he lost his job and lost his girlfriend. I think he lost his girlfriend.
Yeah, he already lost his girlfriend anyways.
Yeah.
Well, see, it makes you want to think now, what's going to be Peter Parker's and Eddie Brock's connection now, since they're going to connect the storylines together.
Well, see, that's the weird thing because in the Sam Raimi movies, they work together at the Daily Bugle.
Yeah, but we don't talk about Spider-Man 3.
I'm pretty sure Eddie and Venom have the idea that he's just a villain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's what they're going to go with.
They're just going to run into each other.
Yeah, Venom's going to find Spider-Man's we got to go to New York City. We got to hunt this man down.
They're just probably going to fight, and then, they'll have a scene. They'll have a scene in, what was it, Infinity War, where Star-Lord has these you guys don't work for Thanos? And they're no, man, we hate that guy.
And you're oh.
And they're oh, okay, let's team up.
Yeah. But Lethal Protector, I love how they kept saying that. Lethal.
They said it kept bringing it up, and I was I love they keep giving us that throwback to the original cover for it. I'm Lethal Protector.
Yes.
That's what it was called, and they keep giving us that callback.
And it's and I just love basically everything about Venom 2. Honestly, a lot more than Venom 1. But until next time, we will talk next week. So, yeah, you got anything to say, guys, before we go?
Great movie. Really loved it.
I reckon not. So
have a good night.
So that was a good movie, and we'll call that good.
Yeah.
Call it a wrap.
All right, guys.